Let's have some fun with another autumn-themed prompt for our junk journal. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and this is your channel for vintage-inspired art and junk journaling. I'm going to tackle prompt number 23. I'm just circling it so I know that I'm doing it. In our new autumn prompt list, which is linked for you below for you to download. And one thing I forgot to mention in my last video where I introduced this new list which Maud and I came up with for you is that it would be great if you could share your pages on Instagram if you have an account using the hashtag 49 Dragonflies Autumn 2020 so that we can all help inspire each other. And I just really love seeing what you all come up with for these prompts. So number 23 says, find information about and decorations of hedgehogs and journal about them. So this is actually a prompt that Maud came up with, and it's totally up my alley because I love researching interesting facts. So let's start off with some fun facts that I learned. 8 fun facts about hedgehogs. A group of hedgehogs is called an array, but it doesn't come up much since hedgehogs are solitary creatures who usually come together only to mate. Hedgehogs are illegal in some parts of the United States. The hedgie has gained some popularity as a pet, but some cities and states still qualify them as wild animals, which are not allowed to be kept domestically. These include Arizona, California, Georgia, Hawaii, Pennsylvania, New York City, and Washington, D.C. In some areas, like in Maine, you need permits in order to own one. There are 17 different species of hedgehog, none of which are native to America. Australia also has no indigenous hedgehogs. The hedgies in New Zealand were introduced by humans. A hedgehog has between 5,000 and 7,000 quills. Muscles along the animal's back can raise and lower the quills to respond to threatening situations. Hedgehogs rely on hearing and smell because they have very poor eyesight, and even their limited sight is best in the dark as an adaptation to their nocturnal lifestyle. Unlike porcupine quills, hedgehog spikes are not barbed, and they're not poisonous. The inside of the quills are mostly hollow, with a series of complex air chambers that make them light but strong. Hedgehogs got their name from their preferred habitat, garden hedges, and the pig-like grunts they make. Their taste for destructive insects makes them a historically welcome presence in English gardens. I hope that was interesting for you as well. And now I have to find a way to make a page using hedgehogs some way. So I picked out some elements that I think I might use for the page. And I found this image online, which is royalty free. And I printed it on a page in several different sizes because I'm not sure yet how I'm going to use this. And I will have this page linked for you in the description box as well for you to download for free in case you need a cute hedgehog like this. Then I also have these leaves, obviously artificial leaves that I found at one of our home decor stores. It's called Depot. And I really love the colors of this. Then I also have some trim that I've hoarded for a while. I found this at my local flea market and I think it's so pretty, and I think the colors actually go really well with these colors. So I have no idea yet what I can do with this, but let's take it one step at a time. So this is the journal signature we are working on. So we've done this one and this one. This one was actually not a junk journal with me session. This is my previous video showing you how to do mini masterboard. So I will link that video for you below as well as my playlist of all junk journals with me from this year. So I think I'll just continue working on this beautiful engineering page. So this actually came from lovely Elaine in the UK. She had sent me this page, and she said she also loves using these for her junk journal, so that's awesome. And by the way, because I see this now, and maybe if you've watched this and if you remember, in here I have an email that I received from Janet, and I decorated it with this here, which is a printout from my shop, from the flowers and shrubs page that I have. And first of all, I didn't know what the name of this was, so thank you so much for those of you who wrote it in the comments. So it's Rose Hip, and I showed you my rose hips that I collected with my BFF, and I mentioned that I was going to attempt to make some jam with it. And I got a comment saying that you wanted to see that jam, so I did make it that same day. And so this is one of the, there were only 4 glasses because I didn't, or jars, sorry, that I made because there wasn't more. So yeah, so this is it, and I made this in vintage style. And I used the English word rose hip so that I would not forget that word again. And yeah, put one of my images here and put some beautiful fabric on top. And yeah, so that's one of my rose hip jam jars. It looks like tomato sauce actually, but I promise it doesn't taste like tomato sauce. It's quite good actually. It's quite sour. It was quite an ordeal to make it. Wow, I haven't made jam in a really long time, and this was really hard because it wasn't liquid enough, and so it was really hard to get through with the strainer. And I had this jam, I think, everywhere in my kitchen. It was really an ordeal, and I'm glad when I was done. And then yesterday, my BFF and I went out again to pick some blackberries because we also wanted to make blackberry jam. Yep, this is all that I was able to collect, and she has about the same amount. So I don't think that's going to be enough for jam. We are far too late in the season. We would have needed to go like 2 or 3 weeks earlier. But yeah, I'll use it in my yogurt. That'll be good as well. Anyway, sorry for that little side trip. Let's go to journaling. I'm thinking it would be really nice to use this trim maybe as a decoration for a tuck spot on the side here, like that. And of course I need a strip of something here to glue this on. So I took out my drawer of designer paper scraps or scrapbook paper scraps, and I want to see if I can find something that would work well with this, which is also long enough. So for example, this is a Tim Holtz one. This actually wouldn't be so bad if we imagine this cut off. That is definitely an option right there. Is it long enough? Not quite long enough. You can't really see the whole thing now, right? Yeah, it's missing about 1 centimeter, so not the best option, but maybe it will have to do, depending on if I can find anything else. This one here, wow, that is that is amazingly similar in the pattern. Wow. But I don't know if I want to do that similar. I think that's kind of too much, so I don't think I'll use that. Same thing with this. I think this is just too much. Nope. Love this one. That I I really like, actually. Let's see how it would work with the other colors. Oh, that is beautiful together. I love how this all goes together. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna just go for that one. It actually happens to be the perfect height. How amazing is that? So now I just have to see how wide I want it to be. So my trim will go on the outer edge, maybe about like this. So I will trim that down with my paper trimmer. Okay, I will of course ink around at least the 3 edges. This one I don't need to because we won't see that anyway. Now I need to cut the trim, the length of the paper. This is such a gorgeous trim. This was such a lucky find. All right, I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue for this because that works better on fabric, I think. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Love that. And now I could either sew that in here, but I don't think I want to do that. No, I will just glue that on. Now we have a cute little tuck spot here. Not so little, actually. I have this envelope which came in the mail and I just coffee dyed it, and it's too big for my pocket, but that's okay. I can definitely trim that down. And if you're new to all of this and you don't know how to coffee dye, I will link for you a video as well on how I do my coffee dyeing, and there's different methods to do that. Or you can just search for that on YouTube. There's tons and tons of video of how people coffee dye, and it seems like everyone has their own method and preferences. So I'm going to start off by checking how long my envelope can be. I don't want to make it difficult to put it in, so I will probably trim it. Okay, now it tucks in there nicely. I don't need to change anything on the width. We could of course also leave it open and just tuck something in there, but I think I want the window showing. Yeah. So how do we do this? I think I'll just glue this part. So I'm thinking I'm going to put a card or something in here that I'm going to journal on. And I wish I had more of this paper left, but this is the last strip of it, so this is not going to be enough, because I want to put something on the back here so that when I take the paper out, this won't be showing, but a nice paper will be showing. So I'm thinking what I could use is this one. This is one from the Tim Holtz memoranda, I believe. So if I glue this in here, just like that, it will still show through once I take out whatever I put in here. So I think I will just glue that down before I glue the envelope closed. I'm going to burnish this to make sure that it's really adhered well. Okay, now I'll just close the envelope here by gluing that side shut. Actually, I'm gonna trim this down a little bit too, because I think it's weird if that original design is going to show through, so I'll just cut it down. Okay, I think that's better. So now it's a nice edge here, and this is kind of coming off, so I'll just glue that down. Next, I think I want to make a hedgehog collage on the front of this envelope, since that is our theme. Now I just have to choose which hedgehog is going to be the right size. So it's either going to be him or him. Yeah, I think I need him. So I'm going to just tear him out. I will ink him up with my tea dye and a blending brush, both of which you can find in the description box if you need them. Okay, he is ready to go onto our envelope. Something like this, but of course he needs something else around him. Right next to me I have this piece here from my snippet rolls from my shop, and I think they are perfect backgrounds, or collage elements I should say, because your collaging is basically already done for you. So if you need a quick collage, you can just use something like this. Just want to get rid of the white edges, of course. We could add some real lace as well. I have my box of laces here. I need something small, I think. I have a piece here already cut. Yes, I do like that. I'm happy to just glue all these elements down now. There. I think it's so cute. When I was checking the facts, I was reading that hedgehog is the second most popular animal on the internet after cats. Who would have known? I certainly wouldn't have known. I would have thought dogs are more popular, but there you go. Does it need anything else? Maybe it needs a little something up here. I have these from my from my flowers and shrubs printout from my shop, and I'm just checking if I have one that's small enough that I could put there. Oh, I could tear this smaller. Yeah, I think red would be really nice. Or this one. No. I think I'll just tear this one down a little bit. Okay, I think that's small enough now, so I'm just gonna ink around this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's cute. So these kind of now frame the window a little bit. So if we stick this in here, the hedgehog is gonna disappear. Oh no! You can just see his butt. Good planning. It's okay. When you take it out, you can see him peeking out there, so that's okay. And now we need some, maybe I'll add some words here. I don't know yet. Or here. We'll see. I need something, of course, to put in here that I can journal on. I have a scrap of some coffee dyed paper, and I figure I can make this into a simple little booklet to fit in here. So I'll just trim that bit off. And on the front, I want a collage that will then look nice when we look at it through the window. Maybe I will mark with a pencil approximately where the window is, so that I know that I need to focus on having some nice decorative elements there. So now I know I need something in this area. I'll probably do a collage on the whole thing, but I know that this is the place that we're gonna see through. And maybe we can use some of this leftover strip to just make everything work together well. I just zoomed you in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start off by tearing a strip of this. Definitely want to see this through the envelope. Then I'm just going to see if I can work with what I have on my desk. I have a pretty big mess on my desk at the moment. Maybe I'll just use a part of this snippet roll strip again, since I have it here and the colors are just perfect for each other. Then I have some book page here that I can add. Use my tearing ruler. As always, I will link this down in the description box for you. I'm just focused at the moment on making a background for a collage. I don't know yet what my focal element will be. I'm just thinking about what my background could look like first. I have some vintage music sheets as well here. I'm quite happy with this as a base, so I will just glue everything down. Next, I feel like I want to have the corners rounded, so I have a large corner rounder. And I will just round all 4 corners. And now I will ink them all up with my vintage photo. And now I want to start thinking about a focal point for this little booklet. And I brought out my fall themed stickers that I still have left over from a year or maybe 2 years ago. And let's just see if there's anything that would work. And now I want to put something here, up here, because that's what we're gonna see through. One thing I would love to use is the owl. But I kind of think it's unfair to the hedgehog because the star of this page is the hedgehog. So if I use this owl, then she might take his thunder. So I think I have to save her for another page. I could do the mushroom. What else? Feathers, acorns, no. This birdhouse would be cute. Here's some more birdhouses. Pumpkins. No, I'm not sure about the pumpkins. I do like the idea of the birdhouse. Since we can't put the owl there, we could put a tiny bird there. I think that would be okay. So which one should we use? This one or this one? Let's take them off and see what they would look like. there's this one. And there's this one. They kind of blend into the background, don't they? So if I do that, I would need to put them on something to frame them, to make them stand out a bit more. I think I like this one better. So I'll put this one back. Or can we maybe do a pumpkin and a birdhouse? Is that too weird? Like this together? But that's cute. Might be weird, but I still think it's cute. Because that will make the birdhouse stand out more as well. So I will just stick those two together like this. And then it still needs a darker background. I'm going to use this beautiful washi tape. I can link this for you below. This is from, I think, an Etsy shop. So I can link that, and I think that will go well as a background, which of course is going to unfortunately cover up some of our other background. So I'll stick it here. And then put that right next to it, lining up the graph paper elements to match up. Like that. And then, what do I do? This is definitely too big. So I could either just tear around it, but I think that's going to be hard. Maybe this time I will just cut around this to leave a smaller. I actually don't like the straight edge. No, 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 I'm not happy with that. I don't like this cut edge at all. Oh, what did I do? Let's see if I can still move this. I will try to move this a little bit and see if I can actually tear this. All right, that will have to do. So now I'll just take the sticky backs off. So this is what we have now. Let's see how it looks if we put it in our envelope. Yeah, that's fine. You can see it partially. And I definitely want to add a sentiment here. So I have here, these are the sentiments from my Calligraphy Nature sentiments, I think is what they're called, from my shop. And I kind of remember, I think there was one that says Adventure Awaits, because I think that will work. Yeah, here, Adventure Awaits. That's a good one. And again, I'm going to just go over that with my tea dye to get rid of the white. And then we'll ink around the edges again. So there's the finished front of our little booklet. Now I'm going to journal inside about a childhood memory of mine concerning hedgehogs, which I will then tell you about once I finish journaling about them. I will read you what I wrote. So when we were children, we used to visit our grandparents who lived in Graz, which was about 2 hours away from where we live in Vienna. My grandparents had a beautiful house with a big garden in which we loved to play. They also had fruit trees and berries, and my grandmother always used to leave some berries for us to pick and eat. In the autumn during our visits, I always first checked the dry fountain that was in the garden, which was turned off in the colder season. This was the time that hedgehogs would sometimes come into the garden because they have such poor sight. They would fall into the dry fountain and would not be able to come out again on their own. So I was able to carefully pick them up with thick gloves and set them back onto the grass safely. So that is something I haven't thought in years. So thank you, Maud, for this prompt that I was able to remember this, and now I'm able to keep this memory in this envelope in my journal, which is very special to me. So we're gonna pop this in here. And then we stick it in here. And I'd say this is done. So I hope you give this prompt or maybe another one a try. You never know what will come out, especially if you don't really have a plan for it. Maybe you don't have a hedgehog memory, but you could write down some of the hedgehog facts or research your own hedgehog facts. Whatever you do, make it enjoyable. Dive into it, forget everything else in your life for a few moments and just enjoy feeling the paper and maybe the fabric and go for it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me once more. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see more. I have tons of more ideas to come. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.